Hi guys, it's Alex Roman here, and today we're coming back with another sunset. And I really want to talk about looking what I saw myself in the mirror. Now I know what you're saying. Like, what do you mean? You look at yourself in the mirror every day? Well, but I'm talking about something else. Like when I saw my former self, because I stumbled across someone last night. I'm not gonna get too much details and information, but let's just say I felt like looking at saw myself again at the age of 15 years old again, because someone basically was going through the same issue as me with having was heartbroken because they're having girl trouble and stuff, and then they basically got upset and jealous about that person or that girl that they was in a relationship. Now, I honestly, when I look back at that, I made me felt like, wow, is that really what happened years ago? But it's really what happened, and basically, this is basically what happened is that is as I look back at that and I said, wow. Looking back at that, that makes you like, wow, that just shows how much I changed. Now, remember in my older videos, I used to complain and cry about like, oh, I wish I had girlfriends and all that stuff, and I just wish that I was, and I'm going to be lonely for the rest of my life. When I look back at that, I'm like, wow, I was really different in high school. But when I look at it today, it makes me feel like, wow, you know, when I look at it, it's like, wow, I changed a lot throughout the years. And what I'm saying is basically, I want everybody to understand, this is advice I want to give to everyone, because I just want to say, you're going to see yourself within the next 10 years, and trust me. And I saw myself in 10 years when another person that was similar to that age I was. When I saw that person, I saw myself 10 years ago, and I saw like, wow, was I really that person? Now, I remember how I used to be upset and depressed over girls, that I always wanted to be with them and always saying how hard it is to get a girlfriend and stuff. Well, you know what? Now I look back at it, it makes me feel like, you know what? I should have focused in high school. Because when I saw myself 10 years ago, or someone that was going through the similar issue like me, I felt like, wow, I saw myself again. But basically what I'm saying is, focus on your education if you're in high school, or if you're either in college or whatever. Focus on that, because when you see yourself in 10 years, you're going to be like, wow, was that really me? Well, if you ask me, I personally think that it's one of the shocking things. I would say it's really the best it's best that you just focus on yourself, because when you don't, you're gonna regret it. Because me, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I had a chance to actually had an education. I threw it away. Well, I should say I had a chance of getting a high school diploma. I just didn't have it. I just threw it away because I was too busy chasing girls. Now I'm going to tell you from my experience, don't do it. Because what is it going to leave you in the end? Nothing. It's going to leave you absolutely nothing. Take this advice. When you got a chance to have to get a high school diploma, take it. Don't throw it away, because you have one shot at life, and you only have a chance. If you're young and you're going girl crazy and you're hitting puberty, or going through, and you want to be with that person, and that person's with another boyfriend or something like that, just say, okay, that's life. Move on, and just go and just focus on yourself. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it later down the road. Now, for me, honestly, I regret that not me getting a high school diploma. Now, with the knowledge I have now, with all the knowledge I have today, it's basically, I wish I could go back in high school and turn it around. And I wish I can focus more on my education, and more like not worry about girls. Because with the knowledge I have today, it's basically like how should I say it? Is basically, what's the word I'm looking for again? Oh yeah, basically you're gonna regret it later down the road, because I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And I told this one person the other night or last night, I said to them, like, look, just worry about your education, dude. You know, so what if this girl isn't in a relationship with another dude? Hey, let me put it this way. You know, you never know. I mean, what if happens if she was if she liked women, and she was a lesbian? What would you do? That's gonna sting even harder than her liking another dude, because if she likes girls and only dates women, that's kind of painful, because that's harsh. That's kind of painful. Because if she only dates women, that's kind of like, ouch. That's a massive sting to the heart. But like I was saying, it's like, when someone gives you advice and they tell you what they went through, take it. Because if they didn't relate to you, basically they're telling you it because they basically went through what you went through. Take that advice. If someone's telling you just worry about yourself and focus on your education, do it. Because if you don't take that advice, you're gonna regret it down the road. Me, I regret not taking that advice, and I could have walked out of high school with a diploma in my hand, but I never did. And I want everybody to understand, you have a chance to get that diploma or get something out of it. Because let's just say, without diploma, it can get you anywhere in life, anywhere. And that's why I'm saying is, because when I was 15 years old, I made a mistake. I wish that I took back the time where I actually had the chance. Because a lot of my friends were telling me, take that advice. It was like, Alex, listen, dude, don't worry about girls, man. You worry about your education. I said, nah, screw you, man. I wanted to be with girls and all that stuff. Well, guess what? And you know what? It finally took me to realize, after my ex-girlfriend left me, I finally took back, and I said, wow, what have I done? I took a step back after my relationship, after my broken heart relationship, and I said, you know what? Is this really what I want? Chasing women and getting my heart broken? Or go after, or pursue something that I always wanted to be? I mean, I'm a volunteer firefighter. I got to be a firefighter. I got to work at a part-time job. I get to do all those things. Now, by me chasing women and stuff like that, that's not going to basically get me to where I am today. So my advice to you guys, worry about yourself, worry about your education. The only thing you should be worrying about is yourself and your family. That's what you should be worrying about. Because your family's more important than anything. Friends can come and go. And I'm gonna put it out this way too before I end the video, because I know I'm just ranting at this point. But if you get in that relationship in high school or college, only about 2% chance that relationship's gonna last. Why? Because in high school, you're only with each other you're only with the person for 4 years, if they're in the same grade or not. But once after high school and you go to college, that relationship becomes different, because that person either goes to another state or goes to another country to learn something, and then that relationship becomes long distance. Majority of the time, they just wind up breaking up. It's the same thing with friendship. It's the same thing once they go out of high school, they go their separate ways and they pursue their dreams, what they want. It's the same thing in college. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Me, I want to just focus on myself. Eventually, I will find the right person. It's just whenever the time is right. Until then, I'll do whatever the hell I want. I can stay up late as I want. I can buy things I want, and I don't have to buy nothing. I can even go anywhere I want without anyone telling me what to do. I can go with my friends, and I can go whoever I want to be with, and not have to be questioned or judged to be like, oh, you can't go with that person, or you can't be with that person. I can do anything I want. That's what has its pro, is of being single. It has its cons. It does kind of gets lonely, but you know what? Think of the long run. Focus on yourself and enjoy the freedom you have now, because there's a lot of things that you want to do. Do it. Because once you get in that relationship, you're gonna be your mind and energy are gonna be focused onto the relationship more than what you want. So if you're single and you have the time and the effort to pursue what you want to do it. Because you may not get that chance to pursue it. So just like I said, guys, take that opportunity to to pursue something that you want to do. Because once you get in that relationship or get married and have a girl, once you have a girlfriend, get married and have kids, you're gonna be wishing you pursue that. But anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell button. And like every other sunset, like I said, guys, life is short. Make the most of it. Enjoy what you have in front of you. So what if that person has more than what you want? So what if that person has more knowledge than you have? So what? You know, it doesn't mean you shouldn't get jealous of someone because they have this, they have that. Because what is that going to prove? Nothing. So what if that person has more something this or more of that? And I could be jealous of everything. I could be jealous that this guy has. I could be jealous of this guy on anime where he has about over 5 or 6 girlfriends, and I was like, damn, I wish I had about 6 girlfriends. I wish I had about 6 of them. But guess what? You know, it's just, I just can't be jealous like that. Or I have a guy that just like that, you know, that has a well-paying job that pays him twice as more money than I do, and you know, can I be a little jealous? Yes, but guess what? Nothing I can do. You know, just live your life to continue what you love doing, and pursue something. And maybe later down the road, you may get something that you've always been wanting to do. But like I said, guys, that's again. Have yourselves a good night. Enjoyed, and I hope you enjoyed my advice I gave you. And I see you guys in the next one.